Oh, feel that healing beat. All right, it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. F it up. Oh, I'm in the groove. Back in the mix. Check yourself. Oh, feel that healing beat. All right, heal up. Heal up. Heal up. Heal up. Healing boost. Oh, I like the sound of that. Ooh, I must have this track on repeat. Repeat. Oh, you hear that? You hear that? Oh, let's break it down. Oh, let's break it down. Oh, let's break it. Break it. Break it down. Let's drop the beat. Beat. Let's get you healed up. Let's get you healed up. Healed up. Yeah. Healed up. Yeah, let's move it, people. Yeah, let's move it, people. Yeah, let's pick it up. Lucio coming at you. Coming at you. Yeah, time to heal up. Oh, turn it up. Turn it up. Turn it up. Turn it up in my headphones. My headphones. Turn it up in my headphones. Audio-medic. 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 Move to the beat. Boost. Boost. Oh, this is my jam. Time to accelerate. All right, it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. F it up. Oh, I'm in the groove. Back in the mix. Check yourself. Oh, feel that healing beat. All right, heal up. Heal up. Heal up. Heal up. Healing boost. Oh, I like the sound of that. Ooh, I must have this track on repeat. Repeat. Oh, you hear that? You hear that? Oh, let's break it down. Oh, let's break it down. it. Break it. Break it. Break it. Break it. Let's drop the beat. 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 Let's get you healed up. Let's get you healed up. Healed up. Healed. Healed up. Yeah, let's move it, people. Yeah, let's move it, people. Yeah, let's pick it up. Lucio coming at you. Coming at you. Yeah, time to heal up. Oh, turn it up. Turn it up. Turn it up. Turn it up in my headphones. My headphones. Turn it up in my headphones. Audio medic. Audio medic. Audio medic. Move to the beat. Boost. Oh, this is my jam. Time to accelerate. Alright, it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. F it up. Oh, I'm in the groove. Back in the mix. Check yourself. Oh, feel that healing beat. All right, heal up. Heal up. Heal up. Heal up. Healing boost. Oh, I like the sound of that. Ooh, I must have this track on repeat. Repeat. Oh, you hear that? You hear that? Oh, let's break it down. Oh, let's break it down. Oh, let's break it. Break it. Break it. Break it. Let's drop the beat. Beat. Let's get you healed up. Let's get you healed up. Healed up. Healed. Healed up. Yeah, let's move it, people. Yeah, let's move it, people. Yeah, let's pick it up. Lucio coming at you. Coming at you. Yeah, time to heal up. Oh, turn it up. Turn it up. Turn it up. Turn it up in my headphones. My headphones. Turn it up in my headphones. Audio medic. Audio medic. the beat. Boost. Boost. Oh, this is my jam. Time to accelerate. Alright, it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. F it up. Oh, I'm in the groove. Back in the mix. Check yourself. Oh, feel that healing beat. All right, heal up. Heal up. Heal up. Heal up. Healing boost. Oh, I like the sound of that. Ooh, I must have this track on repeat. Repeat. Oh, you hear that? You hear that? Oh, let's break it down. Oh, let's break it down. Oh, let's break it. Break it. Break it. Break it down. Let's drop the beat. Beat. Let's get you healed up. Let's get you healed up. Healed up. Healed. Healed up. Yeah, let's move it, people. Yeah, let's move it, people. Yeah, let's pick it up. Lucio coming at you. Coming at you. Yeah, time to heal up. Oh, turn it up. Turn it up. Turn it up. Turn it up in my headphones. My headphones. Turn it up in my headphones. Audio-medic. 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 Move to the beat. Boost. Boost. Oh, this is my jam. Time to accelerate. Alright, it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. F it up. Oh, I'm in the groove. Back in the mix. Check yourself. Oh, feel that healing beat. All right, heal up. Heal up. Heal up. Heal up. Healing boost. Oh, I like the sound of that. Ooh, I must have this track on repeat. Repeat. Oh, you hear that? You hear that? Oh, let's break it down. Oh, let's break it down. Oh, let's break it. Break it. Break it. Break it down. Let's drop the beat. 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 Let's get you healed up. Let's get you healed up. Healed up. Healed. Healed up. Yeah, let's move it, people. Yeah, let's move it, people. Yeah, let's pick it up. Lucio coming at you. Coming at you. Yeah, time to heal up. Oh, turn it up. Turn it up. Turn it up. Turn it up in my headphones. My headphones. Turn it up in my headphones. Audio medic. Audio medic. Audio medic. Move to the beat. Boost. Oh, this is my jam. Time to accelerate. Alright, it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. F it up. Oh, I'm in the groove. Back in the mix. Check yourself. Oh, feel that healing beat. All right, heal up. Heal up. Heal up. Heal up. Healing boost. Oh, I like the sound of that. Ooh, I must have this track on repeat. Repeat. Oh, you hear that? You hear that? Oh, let's break it down. Oh, let's break it down. Oh, let's break it. Break it. Break it. Break it down. Let's drop the beat. Beat. Let's get you healed up. Let's get you healed up. Healed up. Healed. Healed up. Yeah, let's move it, people. Yeah, let's move it, people. Yeah, let's pick it up. Lucio coming at you.
All right. right, we are live with another episode of Off the Wall. It's your boy Dazzle167 bringing you another episode, and I am here with the great CGL sponsor streamer Dalirocksursocks. How you doing, Dolly?
I'm chilling. I just finished the stream, so I look hella tired, but it's okay. I'm chilling.
We out here though. We out here though. That's the
Mhm.
important part. We got a lot to talk about. I think this is gonna be an interesting interview because from the moment I started watching your streams, I felt like there was a lot of things that as a streamer you have in common with what I like to watch in streamers, right?
Mhm.
And I want to talk a lot about the stream itself, but first let's talk about your gaming history. I always talk about this first with all of the guests. Let's go all the way back to like when you first started playing video games. What were some of the first video games that you started playing?
The first ever game that I played ever was like it was that got me into gaming was the Jacks game, with the ball and the Jacks. Cause like me and my sisters used to fight for it, and then like we would stab each other if one the the one who got the
Just
least
casually stabbing each other.
the one who got the least jacks got stabbed by the one who got the most jacks. So it made me competitive, you know. I was like, okay, I
Gotcha.
don't like stab.
Right. 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 So so what about what was that transition like from going from that competitiveness? Talk about like what type of games did you start playing video game wise, like as far as like did you start with like shooter games or role playing games? What were you
Oh,
looking
like
for?
my career of gaming started off with Call of Duty. I guess you could say Call of Duty, but I started off with Pokemon. Like that was the first game that I really took seriously. Was like the Pokemon series. It was Red. And
Okay.
I was just competing against my friends in school to try to get the most Pokemon and who could finish the decks first. So I was like,
Right.
okay, well, I'm gonna finish the decks first. I didn't. I was like the third one, but it made me competitive. Yeah.
Nice. So Pokemon, I mean, I think that's a lot of people too. I remember being that way too. I bringing my Game Boy to like school and playing with everybody else and trying to do link battles. That was the big thing I
Yes, the
remember.
links. Oh my god.
Right? That's taking it back with the link battles that you used to be able to, whoever had the cable is like, yeah, that's the person we need to, battle or whatever.
Yeah, I was the one with the cable, so
Oh, nice,
yeah,
nice.
I was the one that because my dad like he got me all this stuff because he was always on vacation, like not vacation but working. So like my uncle is the lead singer. It was the lead singer of Aventura, but now he's like his own free agent. So like my dad
Oh,
is his
okay.
bodyguard, and he was like always going around with him. So he had money, and he just got me the links, and he got me two DSs, and I
Oh,
just gave one
nice.
to my sister because my sister.
Right, right. So it's okay. So talk about the transition to like console gaming and stuff like that. When did you start like taking a lot like because you started streaming when exactly and what games did you start first streaming?
My first ever stream was 2 years ago. I was playing Mortal Kombat X.
Oh, okay, okay. I mean, you
That
know
was
what?
my
That's
first
fine though. We had
game.
quite a few Mortal Kombat players on our. I think it seems to be like a really popular game to like get into, cause like it's so not that it's easy, but like it feels like as a person who's not very good at it, like myself, like you could just button mash and feel like you're doing something.
Yeah, that's what I used to do. So like I used to play Liu Kang and I used to just spam the kicks and like that's what I used to do.
Right, right. I mean, don't get me wrong. I talked to somebody who was a professional Liu Kang player, and he basically told me the same thing. He's like, I just spam kicks. Like, he's like, I mean, that's really like that's your biggest asset as Liu Kang is just spamming kicks. Anyways,
Yeah.
you go against a Liu Kang player and you're gonna get kicked about a billion times anyway. So,
Or fireball spammed. It's just
right,
the
yeah,
way of
fireball
life.
spam. Right, right. Nice. So, well, listen, people know you now. I think for, I mean, You also self-describe yourself as an Overwatch player and also a Dead by Daylight player. So let's go to like the beginning of Overwatch and stuff like that. Let's talk about how'd you get into Overwatch, like the game itself, and what were some of the first characters you started playing?
Okay, so this is gonna sound corny as fuck, okay? But I was watching Tim the Tap Man one day playing Overwatch on the beta, and
Right.
I was like, because he was playing Mercy at the time, and I was like, wow, she's hot as fuck. I wanna like play this game, but then I was like, nah, like I'm a streamer, and if I like try to get this game, there's a lot of big people already playing it. No one's gonna find me, and then like I started like continuously thinking about it, and then like my best friend who's also my roommate, my baby daddy and stuff, he texted me and he was like, Dali, I found this great game you would like. It's like Call of Duty, but you won't die all the time. And I was like, okay. And he was like, okay, so like you could play as a healer, which is like what girls are good at anyway, so you should just play. And I was like, okay, what is it? And he was like, Overwatch. And I was like, I was watching Tim the Tapman play that the other day. He was like, so Tim's playing it. You should play it. So I'm gonna have to spend $60 on multiple games every year, which is what he used to do for Call of Duty. And I played the beta first. He told me to test it out because the beta was out for Xbox at that time,
Right.
and I streamed the beta. I got like a pretty good following, and then I got raided by Riley, who was she was Amaretti at the time. She was like a partnered Overwatch streamer or whatever.
Nice.
And I got affiliated off of that. So like I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna just keep playing Overwatch.
Right. So
And that's
Overwatch, I mean, it's funny too because like I'm a big fan of Tim the Tatman as well, and like the history of his games is sort of the same thing. Like he started off with Call of Duty, and he kind of moved into Overwatch, and then he got into and then Overwatch really grew his channel a lot. Especially from like the Call of Duty days. So it's cool to see that same transition for a streamer going into Overwatch and stuff like that. So you decided the first character you wanted to play was Mercy based on what Tim was doing, which is funny because I don't even think Tim likes playing Mercy
No,
anymore.
he hates playing support. That's the thing. Like he's a
Right.
support main that hates playing support. Like he's a really good Zenyatta, but he doesn't
Yeah.
want to play Zenyatta, so he just
Yeah.
feeds as Roadhog. It's like,
Right.
okay, well, good job, Tim.
Right. Right. So like so you played Mercy for a bit. Tell me some of like your career highlights on Overwatch. Like what were where did you peak at as your like career peak? What games were you looking at like playing? How did that work out for you? Like what
um,
elo did you stay in for like a longest
uh,
time?
so I started off the game at like almost in the 60s, like 56 or 54, some shit like that. And then I went from gold to plat to diamond to masters. And then I was like stuck in masters. And then my main account got banned. So I'm just a fucking Smurf queen now. I just Smurf all the time and play with my friends that are low because I can't play with them on my main account. So it's like, okay, well, I'm not solo queuing here, and my friends want to play with me, so I'm just gonna Smurf, whatever. I don't really care about Elo either because it's like it's just a game. I'm not getting paid for it.
Right.
So it's like when I see Overwatch players, and like the thing that I feel like is unique about my channel is I don't care about rank. Like if I'm playing with someone, I always play with someone and they always apologize to me. Like, I'm so sorry that I'm bad. And it's like, I'm bad too. I don't know how to aim. I play Mercy. Okay. You don't have to apologize. I just hold one button in the fucking game and then sometimes
Right.
hold the other one. Ooh.
Right, and I think that's the biggest thing too because sometimes I hear a lot of people like especially high elo players who I
Oh,
mean I happen to know a lot of them, and they always talk about like, oh well, like they complain about streamers because like they're either not high or they don't have good gameplay. But I always tell people, and this is the thing that I always stress about on Twitter, is that streamers don't have to be really good at the game. You don't have to be a ninja or a shroud or those type of, you could be entertaining like Tim or like Dr. Disrespect, or those are people who are very entertaining. They're also very good at their game, like but there is quite a few people who can do both or just be entertaining, right? I mean, I feel like a lot of times for my personal streams that I feel the same way. I feel like I'm more entertaining than I am good at the game. So that's also part of it. So do you think that at some point that came across for you as like, because I watch your streams, and one of the things I liked about it was that it did kind of remind me of like Tim the Tatman's type stream, where it was really funny and entertaining, like engaging wise.
Mhm.
Like it,
Okay.
like it was, it was a type of stream that like when you watched it, you knew that you would get like, you would connect with you as a streamer, because you talk to people, like you were really adamant about looking at chat and stuff like that, and engaging. What was it about throughout streaming that you saw you change? Because I know for a lot of people it's hard to kind of engage with chat, and like just because you people get so used to playing video games and not engaging in stream. When did you figure out that your streaming was like getting to be like better as for you, like for your opinion?
So like my stream story is really unique, I guess you can say. Like everybody's stream story is unique, but a lot of people have like similar-ish stories. Whereas mine, I started streaming 2 years ago, but I've only been consistent in streaming for a year because I had health problems where I was doing dialysis 6 days a week. So I couldn't really do anything stream wise. So I got affiliated. I had to stop streaming. And then my best friend, who's like my top mod in my channel, Beat Jumper, he was subscribed to me for like the whole time I was on that hiatus because I told him it was going to be a hiatus. And once I got better from my kidney problems, that I was going to get back to streaming. And then like he saw that I was getting better, but I wasn't completely like healed or whatever. And he just got me back into streaming. So like during that time where I was like in dialysis, I was like networking on Twitter and like getting to know other streamers before I came back into the scene. And what I realized about a lot of big streamers and what makes people leave big streamers chats is the lack of engagement. So like now that I'm starting to coach and stuff like that with streamers and stuff, my biggest piece of advice is like you press the going live button to talk to people, not to be good at a
Right.
game. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you engage with as much people in your chat as possible because your chat is what makes you a streamer, like not
Right.
your gameplay at all. Like I know bronze partner streamers with like more viewers than all of us in this chat combined. They're not good at the game, but they're entertaining enough to hold an audience and engaging enough to hold an audience. So it's like
Absolutely.
a lot of streamers nowadays, from what I see, a lot of especially smaller streamers, they love to like compare themselves to other people that they're friends with that have more engagement instead of looking at their own content. Like I don't know how many of you guys in the viewer list look at your own VODs, but that shit is important. Like it
Yeah.
really is. Like you could see audio quality, like visuals, like is your settings okay? Like console streamers, we can't help it because like we're max. But if we're a console streamer with a PC, like I am, like you want to make sure your quality is good enough because we're not at that full PC level yet. So it's
Right.
like, because we're on console, a lot of people are just going to take us like not seriously. So, it's all about the entertaining value, which is what like I implement sound commands and stuff like to make my chat laugh and stuff. So I got fart commands, I've got a burp command, I even got a hype command, and then like all my mods they have sound commands, and like most of them I already know them by heart. So if anybody comes in, they use the command, I already know who it is without looking at the
Oh,
stream.
okay.
So like it's all about, for me, I feel like as a streamer, it's all about like, yeah, I know like in the beginning I was like popping, people are gonna want to sub to me because I'm me, right? But you want to give people incentive, like, me, I do like if somebody subs to me for the first time for 1 month, I give them a Pokemon impression and I go, hey, this is my impression of a Pokemon, like welcome to the sock drawer, names for your community is really good as
Right.
well. So it's all about like making people feel like they're that it's a personalized thing and making them feel important like every time.
Nice. That no, that's really important. I'm really interested about the coaching aspect that you started because I saw on Twitter that you started doing that. I was really interested. Before we get into that, I have a very important question, which is, what is your best Pokemon impression?
A lot of people say that is Togepi, but I think it's Pikachu. But I could do both.
Do
Okay.
both. Yeah. Let chat decide.
Okay, hold on. I gotta not sponsored by the way, but I'm drinking Coke. Okay, here's my Togepi one. Ooh. And here's my Pikachu one. Pikachu, Pika.
You know what? They're both really good though. They're both
Yeah.
actually very accurate. Uh,
Thank you.
well, let's go back to the streaming coaching. I think this is a great idea, and it's really interesting. I think because you know, I don't think okay, so when people start streaming, there's tons of YouTube videos about like how to do and this and how to do that, but I don't ever see people actually doing hands-on stuff, and I think you do a lot of that. And you mentioned how before you were doing like interviews with people and like talking to them and trying to see how tell me how that process started for you. What made you want to start doing that, and how has it been developing so far?
So I've been like secretly in the shadows planning a lot of stuff. So I have this new thing that I'm going to implement on Monday. It's called tea time, right? So like before it was about, simple petty drama that I was going through, but I'm not sure I'm trying to be a positive influence in the community.
Right.
So tea time is also going to consist of like any juicy drama that is on Twitter that I go through. Any like I'm planning to implement a waiting room system on Discord where we could do like one-on-one interviews. I private call you if you're in the waiting room, and then like we can do like a AMA kind of thing. Like, hey,
Okay.
this is what I feel like is bothering me about my stream's growth. How can I grow? And then like a roast session. So it's like a radio show, like in those radio
Okay. Yeah.
shows when you call
Right.
people and then like, welcome to Tea Time with Dali. What's your roast for today? Like, give me some tea, something like that, to
Gotcha.
implement
Gotcha.
more like thing. But as far as the streamer interviews, what I do is like what my niche, because like a lot of stream coaches would sit there and say niche, like you need to find your niche, right? But that's like that simple cliche, like that's that simple cliche shit. Like, that's like me telling a basketball player you need to aim for the hoop, right?
Right.
How am I supposed to aim correctly? You got to teach me.
Right. Right.
So my implementing of coaches, because I do free coaching too. Like if anybody's in my Discord and I'm in a chat, they want to ask me anything, like, yo, it's a public chat, anybody can join. But one-on-ones I will charge for, because like that's my time that I'm
Right.
taking away from like my real life shit. But with my one-on-ones, what I'm gonna do is like I'm gonna personalize what I feel like are your strengths, your weaknesses as a streamer, as a social media like person, because social media does have a lot to do with streaming. You want to
Absolutely.
be balanced, and that's something that even I'm very guilty of. I'm guilty of not balancing my social media. I could use Discord more than I use Twitter. I use Twitter a lot. So it's like I could split my time between like Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. And if I did that and I was equally as big on all three platforms, I can probably easily be partnered. You know what I mean? But that goes for anybody.
Right.
Ways of implementing yourself and your entertainment quality. What do you think entertains your audience, and what can you do about it to get a reward system out of it, and what can you do to make it consistent? Because consistency is very hard when it comes to streamers. Like a lot of streamers go, oh well, I have 40 this day, but now I'm at like 18. Oh, I'm sad, I'm shit. But it's like, no, people are busy. You know what I mean?
Right.
How
Right.
can you get those people that are busy, that didn't open up a tab for you, to open up a tab for you? You got to gain the connection. You got to make sure you make people feel welcome. It's like entering a party, right? You're not going to stay in a party that's boring as fuck. You're going to want to dance in a party, like pop off. So it's all about like the balance of things, I guess.
Right, and I think that's hugely important, and it's surprising how many people don't really understand that because like I have other friends as well who go to me to like ask me about streaming and stuff like that, and I'm relatively new to streaming. I mean, I only started earlier this year, and but I know that people who have done it, who are trying to do it, sometimes they don't engage in Twitter as much, or they don't try to like you know. Do the social media aspect, or sometimes they don't look back at their content like you were saying. You mentioned a lot of things that some people that might not do and might be better at doing. If you had like a top 5 or a top 10 things that streamers should do, or that streamers don't do often enough, for when they start streaming, what would that look like? What do you think is the common thing that streamers don't do, that could help them grow?
Ooh, I got a lot. So like for new streamers, like somebody that just hit going live today,
Right,
my biggest advice for them would be like in your chat, there's gonna be a cog wheel. It's gonna say chat settings on the bottom,
right,
right? Chat options. You want to turn on the timestamps and you want to make sure the colors are readable because you want to make sure everybody in your chat you can read their names because my name is Dalirocksursocks. And do you know how many times I've been called Daily? Okay, not cool. Not
right,
cool at all. So yeah, Dolly, not Daily. But you gotta the timestamps are really important because you know how long it takes for you to respond to somebody's message. And in my head, I always
mm,
do a challenge with myself every stream. I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna top the quickness of how fast I respond to people average. So I I'm just guesstimating my own average, but I would say between a minute to 3 minutes it would take me to read someone's chat, depending on which game. Dead by Daylight is a lot faster for me to read chat. If it's Overwatch, I mean, if I'm quick playing, I don't care. I always read chat. But if I'm in competitive, then it gets a little harder. But
right,
like making sure that your timestamps are there is really important. You gotta read the chat. You gotta make sure you engage it when you don't have a camera and you're a console streamer. It's like a radio show, and you're not going to listen to a radio show full of static. So you got to
right.
make sure you keep talking, or you have music that's there, that's lit as fuck, that could just like entertain your audience. Because sometimes I'm hella quiet, and then like people just like my music, and then they're just like, oh shit, well, your music is lit. So my music saves my stream sometimes when I have nothing to talk about. But what I'm trying to practice now is like topics. Topic of the day. That's a really big one. Like if you have a topic of the day, there's always going to be like a question that your chat can always answer. What's your favorite breakfast food? You put that shit in your title, people are gonna come in like, oh, I like pancakes, or oh, I like waffles, and then like have a debate. Oh, well, pancakes suck. They're just circles. And it's like, well, waffle is a circle with squares, so shut up. And it's just like,
Yeah.
yeah, you got content right there.
Right,
So it's all about creating your own content. And even if there's nobody in your chat, you can create your own content. You can say, "Oh, well, I'm playing Dead by Daylight and I'm going to juke the killer. So I'm going to be the one that's juking the killer. So this is how you properly juke a killer. This is the kind of build you put." Like sucks for me to do that, but it's so good for the new streamers to get used to it. Like
right, right,
talking to themselves. That's really important. A lot of the streamers just stay quiet. Like I watch a lot of smaller, newer streamers. I love helping people get affiliated. That's like one of my big things. It's like I love helping people get affiliated because that's a goal that I help somebody reach. And it's like I'm not trying to get my dick sucked off of it or anything, but it's like I want to make sure that people get their goals in check because I'm a community girl. So that's my niche, is helping people, I guess.
right. No, absolutely. And I think I mean, I'm gonna be honest. There's a lot of things that you said that I didn't even know. Like, I was like, as soon as you said the whole timestamp thing, I was like, I don't even think I have timestamp on my chat. Like, So I turned it on. I was like, you know what? You're right. I did not even think about that for a second. It sometimes, you do get so involved in a game, and you see a message, and you don't know how long it's been since that message, and
Exactly.
that might be a really important thing. And I never thought about that. So that is a really cool aspect of a lot of the stuff that you're talking about trying to get people to get. And one of the things that I always hear from new streamers is they always not complain, but I guess they always talk about how it's hard for them to talk to themselves because they don't feel like there's anybody in chat, so why talk if there's nobody in chat. But I feel like
Exactly. I hear that all the time. Oh
right.
my.
And here's the thing too. For me, like my question was always like, well, if you don't talk to yourself in chat, then people won't come in, right? I mean, because who wants to come into a chat? What is your response usually for that question?
Whenever anybody asks me, like, the main question I always get is, how do you get viewers? And it's just like,
That's a really
it's
hard question
easy to
to.
answer though. For me, it's easy as fuck to
Okay.
answer. The best way to get viewers is to connect with people. You make friends. You genuinely make friends with those you like, whether they support you or not. Because having a consistent viewer, like, yeah, it's nice and all, but someone who's consistent can just become inconsistent in a snap. Like, real life
Right.
happens. You know what I mean? But it's all about like gaining the connections. There's people that sometimes like that I have modded that haven't been in my chat in months. And it's like there's people that I haven't talked to in weeks that like yesterday I talked to somebody that I haven't talked in weeks. And it's like we were just talking just yesterday. You know what I mean? It's like
Right.
those kinds of connections, like, oh well, just because they're not viewing me all the time, at least I'm known and at least people know who I am and what I'm about. And that's all that really matters, to be honest. Like, fuck the viewership. Like, you want, uh, in my eyes, I see it as you want a ratio, right? So, like, to the 3,000 followers and almost four that I have, I get a consistency like of 30 or so people. In my opinion, that's a good ratio because like Tim the Time Man has like nearly 2 million and he's only at like 20,000. So
Right.
like, you can't compare yourself to other streamers. That's one. I hate that shit. I hate like, oh well, like Donnie's bigger than me and we started at the same time. So fucking what? Like clearly it means that I was on my shit and you weren't. So get on your
Right.
shit.
Right, and again, like you mentioned before, it's all about content, right? Because I think that some people don't realize that they think that because they're playing a specific game or because they're good at the game. I know tons of people who are high elo players who they might get 5 people watching them at some point, and they're like 4400s or something and on Overwatch, and they complain about how they don't get views. And part of it is you can't just be good, you have to be, like you said, entertaining and engaging and stuff like that. So for somebody who is starting out and trying to do better at streaming and stuff like that, you would as far as their social media, you would encourage them to just try to follow people and just make connections with people who are like-minded, right? Just to try to get like that sort of thing going. How do you meet people in order to engage with them?
For me, like, uh, as far as the Overwatch community goes, like, I would just, it sounds corny, but like in the mornings, I would like search bar, like hashtag Overwatch. And I would just like see all of the shit that was like in the last hour and I would just comment on it. And like I'm goofy as fuck, Not a lot of females are goofy either. So it's like it's very different for guys to see like a female memeing or like talking about eating ass. Like I feel like I'm the only female on Twitter that just talks about eating ass all the time when I actually do not eat ass. Like really? Why? Like no. But it's I get my like interaction through comedy, but a lot of people could do it through different ways. Like I'm someone who likes to support streamers, so it's like good morning Twitch, or like good morning. And I would see anybody that's like affiliated with streamers, like good morning hashtag streamers. I was searching the toolbars and like any statuses, tweets that were like posted in the last hour of any streamer that tagged hashtag streamers in their post. Like I would see it. And then like even if it's new, I wouldn't follow nobody first. I would try to interact with them
Right.
and try to get the like I want them to click on my profile and to see me, who I am. So like as far as social media, the biggest example I can like give is the your pin post and your bio. They're the two most important things on Twitter. And your like header and your image. You want people to know who you are from a look, like from a glance. So like when
Absolutely.
you go into my profile, it's like, I'm a full time variety streamer who's a mom. I stream for Nemesis and I'm sponsored by CGL. I duo with this person and I have this community. That's my bio. And then like my pin post is all about the Discord community because
Right.
you know in the Discord it tells everybody when we're live. So I don't have to put my streaming schedule. A
Right.
lot of
Okay.
the streaming schedule I share the Discord. Give me a second.
Okay. By the way, chat, this is all really interesting. I find everything that's been said so far to be like, um, like stuff that I didn't know about. I didn't know about the Twitter thing. I mean, if anybody also has any questions about anything, um, feel free to ask in the chat, and we'll ask Dolly, when she gets a chance. So that'll be good.
Look at the camera. Say hi.
Hi,
Say hi.
hi.
Like what?
He's like, no.
Look, there you go.
Hi. Hi.
So like that's the thing. I've only been on Twitter for a year now. Like I haven't been on Twitter for that long. And
But that's actually really impressive because, I mean, I've been on Twitter for, I mean, I made a Twitter a long time ago and I just recently started using it. But you have quite a following on Twitter. You have almost 10,000. I don't know if you've reached 10,000.
I'm at 10,100 now.
Oh, look at this! See, last time I saw it was like 9,800 or 900. So
Yeah, that was 2 weeks. That was 2 weeks ago.
exactly. So I mean, that's a pretty big following. So I mean that's pretty huge. And what do you think the trick to it is to like gain followers on Twitter and to engage with people? Like you were mentioning before, like trying to just talk to people and mention and talk about certain topics and doing the search and stuff like that. Is that the key to it?
My biggest advice for anybody that's a streamer, like that's not variety, like I just turned variety, but I'm mostly Overwatch. That's what a lot of people know me for. But the reason behind that is because I'm always on Play Overwatch's Twitter. I have all of their notifications on, so I comment on all their posts. I don't retweet all their crap anymore because they don't need my retweet. They have like thousands of
Right.
retweets, but I'm always commenting on their stuff with comedic stuff. You know what I mean? And like I have a Mercy gif where like I'm dancing and stuff and like dollar and stuff, like my stream gifs. So I be commenting that sometimes and it's like, oh wow, this is that person cosplaying as Mercy. Like Overwatch fans love that shit. But with like other games, I just try to get to know other streamers that my friends know. So it's all about connections. Like, um, in my opinion, the person who got me out the map was Miss Alley Cat. So like I started talking to her, we started playing on Xbox more, and a lot of people in her stream like my personality. So I gained like 150 followers from her stream that day. And then
Wow.
it was this one tweet that I wrote about people shit talking lurkers. Cause that's a lot of things too. Like people go, I only have lurkers and I hate it. I hate when people say I only have lurkers. Lurkers are like 90% of Twitch.
Right.
Everybody has lurkers.
Right.
If you want active chat, you have to make yourself interesting. And one thing, one piece of advice that that I can say is like, you want to passive aggressively question your chat whether they're there or not.
Right.
So it's like, let's say, for example, I'm playing Kingdom Hearts, right? I've never played that game before, so I don't know a goddamn thing about it. I'm looking for like that Keyblade shit or whatever. And it's like, oh man, did I pass the Keyblade? I don't know. Maybe it was on the left or maybe I was on the right.
Right.
Does anybody in chat know? And it's like things like that. It's like, well, someone in your chat that's lurking actively, they're gonna be like, "Oh, well, I didn't see it," and it's like, "Oh, well, thanks for letting me know that it wasn't there," and it's like that's how you get the engagement going.
You know, that's actually really interesting because I have me and a couple of other friends. We've been doing other games as well. Like I recently started streaming Need for Speed, and I personally love that game just because I like racing games and stuff like that. And when I started playing it, I had people who would lurk and then would tell me, "Oh, hey, did you like?" I would be like, "Oh, this is weird. I can't find this thing. Where is this thing?" And then they would, chat would activate and be like, "Oh, you missed it. It's over here or it's over there." And you kind of like without asking for the engagement, it happens just purely based on your content. So that's actually really interesting. So, all this streaming stuff is really interesting, but I want to ask you something because we're wrapping up on an hour and I don't want to take that much more of your time, but I want to talk to you a little bit about your some of the medical conditions, because I know you went through you were in the hospital a couple weeks back, and I'm glad to see that everything's better and everything, but tell us a little bit about how that happened and your progress in that.
So, oof, this is gonna be a this is gonna be a long one. So a couple of years ago, I was dating a guy. We were dating for like 9 or so years, and he asked me to marry him, and I said yes. And the day of the wedding, he left me at the altar. Okay. And I got into like this depressing, spiraling alcoholism, and it caused me to have cirrhosis and kidney failure.
Wow,
So
that
I had
is
to do 6 days of dialysis every week.
that.
And
I'm gonna be honest. When I asked that question, I did not think that would be the answer at
yeah.
all. That's a crazy. That's the type of story that could be like in a movie. To be honest,
Oh, I hope not.
I know, but I'm just saying like it's really interesting because you don't hear that often. It's very it's a very strange thing that happens. So okay, so but fast forward through how you get it. So how you were living with dialysis for a long time. Did you get off of it? Did you get a transplant? How did that work?
Yes. Okay, so the first transplant I got was a liver, like a piece of it though. It wasn't like the whole thing. It was just a piece of it because my whole liver wasn't bad. It was my kidneys that were the problem. So yes, baby. Yes. Yes.
Get the food.
Yes, I am. Thank you. Bye bye.
Get the food and then get Kelly.
Okay. So my best friend actually got tested, her blood tested to check if her kidney was donorable, I guess you would say that, to me, and she actually gave me her kidney the couple weeks ago.
Mommy,
That
I want to play with you.
Joshua Cole.
Wally Yeye, thank you so much for this tier 1 sub. Appreciate it. Always a good friend of the stream. I really appreciate that, Wally. Thank you so much for subscribing once again with the tier 1 sub. Wally, I hope everything's going good with you in Xbox and PlayStation and all of that. I always appreciate the support. Wally, longtime friend and supporter. Thank you so much.
Okay.
I feel like he wants to be part of the interview as well, and that's part of it.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Oh boy. Okay, so
Right.
she gave me one of her kidneys, and I mean that I had a clot in my kidney that day that I was streaming, and I had to go to the hospital. I only streamed like 2 hours that day, and I was feeling really bad. I was like moving back and forth, and then I just like I don't know, like it's a little TMI, but I really don't give a fuck. But like I was on my menstrual, and like it was like I was like cloudy and heavy, and I usually so I knew something was wrong, and like my back, and like I was getting cramps, and like the my back was hurting me. So I was like, oh shit, like this is really bad, and I ended up going to the hospital, staying there a couple of days, getting the surgery, and then coming back to stream like 2 weeks later because I was not trying to stream right away.
Mommy,
Right. You wanted to
Daddy,
at least recuperate for a little bit because that probably
Daddy,
is the most important. You can't do that.
yeah, hold
You can't do
yeah,
that like on a
hold
when you're feeling that bad. And
Yeah,
you
I couldn't
yeah.
even get up. Like, one of my mods, I was playing with him, and he was like, "Oh my god, I gotta turn you up." Like, we were talking on Discord, and he was like, "Oh my god, I gotta turn you up. You're so low." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's what happens when I'm not feeling well, and when I'm using my mommy voice. I call it my mommy voice when my kids are asleep, and I don't want to wake them up, but I'm awake. So
Right.
yeah, yeah, baby.
Uh, well, listen. I mean, I think I feel like there is so much more to talk about, but we are
We
coming up on
can. I
we.
mean,
No, it's fine. I think it's great. I think that there's one more question that I want to ask, and I want to leave some stuff unsaid because I want to bring you back to the show at some point as well because I think this could go longer, honestly. But I want to do that. I want to bring you back at some point and we could talk a little bit more. But before I leave, I want to talk to you a little bit about how the you're streaming, you're also a mom as well, and you see that, obviously you see it now and you also see it in your streams and stuff like that. And then you also had some of the medical issues. All of these things kind of build a personality throughout streaming that I think people can not necessarily relate to, but also watch and see how much dedication you have to it. So tell me, what do you think so far about how your stream is going to be in the upcoming future? Like, where do you see your stream going? What are some of your goals, whether they're immediate goals or goals that you want to set yourself for the future?
so like when I'm a lot of people say I'm a bigger streamer, right? Technically on average, I am technically considered a bigger, smaller streamer, I guess you could say. It sounds weird, but I
Right,
am technically one of those like bigger, smaller streamers because the bigger streamers are like Ninja, Dr. Lupo,
right,
all the obvious ones. But like as far as small streamers are concerned, a lot of people consider me like a bigger streamer or ask me like why I'm not partnered. And that's a big question that I always get. Like, why aren't you partnered? You have that quality, blah, blah, blah. The reason why a lot of partnered streamers, in my opinion, that partner push are in like the situation that they are sometimes is because I feel like partner pushing in that sort is kind of like forcing your community to watch you for a goal. And what are they gonna do once your goal is finished? You're just
right,
enticing them with a goal, and that's it. Rather than enticing them with your entertainment value and like anything that they can do to support your channel to further make your quality better, for that way you can get the quantity. It's all about
right,
my main goal as far as immediate is to get to TwitchCon. I've got the ticket. I've got the TwitchCon ticket, the plane ticket. I'm gonna get my room tickets this next week or some shit like that. And I just want to meet as many people as possible because that's the main goal that I have. Like, you know how there's people that you want to like that you meet that you just want to keep conversating with, like they're interesting, and it's like I want to be that rememberable person because I'm so small too. A lot of people gonna remember me because I'm tiny, but it's like I want to have that like outgoing personality. Like, oh shit, she's cool in person. She's clearly cool in her streams. I want to be there, and that's my main goal because I see my channel as as a link to other people because mostly, if not only streamers watch my channel. So it's like anybody that's in my channel, you will know that they're a streamer too. And then like the following and the support goes from there. So that's my goal is to meet more people, get them enticed and stuff.
Right.
Long-term goals, I want to get a PC because I want to start doing Overwatch custom matches, custom hero gauntlet matches. I started doing that for the community on PlayStation and Xbox. Depending on like, based off of like uh recommendations if people want to do that or not. But I do a lot of viewer and custom games where I would want to do it on PC too and be able to stream it as well. But that's not
Right.
making me a streamer.
Right. Right. Before we leave, let's talk a little bit about Dead by Daylight. Because I think I play Overwatch primarily, but my wife is actually she loves Dead by Daylight. She plays Dead by Daylight a lot. She's like, I think she's like a rank 4 in Dead by Daylight. So she's really good, and I watch her, and I'm like, I don't know how you do some of these things sometimes. But tell me about your interest in Dead by Daylight. What do you see yourself as? Do you like playing as killer, as survivor a lot? What is your thoughts on the game so far and streaming it?
As far as Dead by Daylight is concerned, I was not interested in it until I got it gifted to me in a stream. So like during Halloween of last year, I was playing Overwatch, the spooky Halloween event, nice Junkenstein bullshit.
Junkenstein, yeah.
Where you play Torbjorn and all of that, and you kills and you gotta play the game. Well, yeah, I was playing that, and then some guy was like, "Wow, you should be playing." Wait, and somebody was like, "Oh wow, you should play Dead by Daylight," and I was like, "What is that?" He was like, You don't know what that is," and I was like, "No," and then like he gifted me the game. I started playing it. I was scared out of my fucking mind when I first played that game. I was like, ah, ah. Every killer was just like, ah, ah. But
I
only
bet.
like 3 killers make me go, ah. Now it's either the pig, Michael Myers, or Ghostface. Like those are the 3 jump scare characters.
Really?
That, like,
To me it's the one who like seems to, I don't know the names of all of them, but there's one that seems to be able to teleport whenever you
that's
do something.
either the nurse or the hag.
Right, and that's the one that I always am like, oh no, like that, because that one seems like it's a lot scarier because it just jump scares me. So what are you looking to playing Dead by Daylight? What's your goal with the game? Like, do you like just playing it? Do you want to reach a certain rank? How is that going for you?
I mean, as far as video games altogether, this goes for any video game that has a ranking system that I play. Because like, I just picked up Apex 2. It's an okay game, I guess, but it's
Right.
like I'm not really interested in rank because I know I'm bad at games anyway. I'm not trying to be the best. I'm just trying to like the goal of my channel altogether, like as a streamer, is to like I'm a morning streamer, so I stream at 7 a.m. Eastern time. I
Right.
want to be your coffee in the morning. You wake up, you have a good day, and you work happily or do whatever you're doing that day happily and in a good mood so the rest of your day could be good. That's what I have my channel as. I try to be at least.
Right.
So rank and all of that shit doesn't matter to me. So like as far as gaming is concerned, all I want to do is have a good time playing with my friends. That's it.
Absolutely. That's cool, and I think that's the perfect game to do it too, because I don't think, like, for me, like I don't know personally, and this is just me, but like for me, Overwatch, Like I take it too like seriously, and it's
I'm gonna
probably
play on my main account on stream.
yeah, yeah. Like I take it a little bit too. Like I sometimes I don't even stream my main account because like I'm just concentrating. You know, I'm just focused on it. But like with Dead by Daylight, it seems like it's just fun. Like it's just you just do a lot of
It's
fun
like
stuff.
the thing with that by Daylight is the regular game rank. So there's no quick play to it. It's always going to be a
Right,
competitive aspect. So it's like you're either good or you're not. I'm
right.
a balanced player. So like when I'm by myself, I play killer. But when I'm with friends or I plan to play with friends, I'm always surviving. Like
Nice.
my main goal always will be to like play with my friends, have a good time, make sure that we're all good. And that's why I'm all about my community. Like as far as getting people in the Discord and getting everybody to talk to each other, because we're all in a
You can play with friends,
Nice.
okay?
okay, puppy.
um well listen, I think there's still a lot to talk about, but I want to leave it for another time because I feel like we could probably fill another hour with the amount of stuff that we could probably talk about. You gave
Yeah,
a
I have
lot
so
of
much knowledge about
yes.
like helping people grow their streams and stuff. That's why I started coaching, because it's like
Absolutely. And you know what? I think this VOD, I'm definitely going to share this VOD with a lot of people, a lot of young streamers and a lot of people who are trying to get into streams, because this is a lot of invaluable information here, and I think that is going to be something that people should definitely look at. So, but listen, I appreciate you coming by. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come and be with us on an interview. And listen, I hope that everything goes well in TwitchCon. I hope your stream keeps growing, and I hope everything goes well in your life.
one thing I'm gonna also say before we leave
Oh,
is
go
that
ahead.
as far as streaming is concerned, don't play games that you don't enjoy. Like we as viewers, we see when you don't enjoy a game and we leave.
Yeah,
So don't do that. Like don't play Fortnite because
it's
the top
popular.
streamers are playing it. Yeah,
Right,
because
right,
like those, like as a streamer, I would, if you want to grow fast and not care about connections, the easiest way to do that is play mainstream games like fucking, I don't know, Crash Bandicoot is a low game that has no viewers. If you have a decent community that always watches you 20 to 30 and you play Crash Bandicoot and then you try to connect to the Crash Bandicoot community and let people know slowly but surely that you're a streamer, you're gonna have a lot of viewers because of it. You gotta
right.
connect with the community you're trying to get in. And the best communities to join are like the smaller communities, like farm simulator, fucking job simulators, stupid shit like that. That like has fucking 1,000 people that only care about the game. Everybody knows each other, like a town. In
Right.
a town, everybody knows each other, but in the city, people don't. So think about it like that. Overwatch is a city. Job simulator is Yuckleville. And you think
Right.
about it like that.
No, that's honestly a really good perspective. I know tons of people who are starting out their streams now, who are small, very small streamers who just got affiliated, and they'll play something very small like you just mentioned, and they'll get viewers because nobody else is streaming it. Like but they'll do it for fun and they like it. I have somebody who's a friend who he plays Astroneer, and he like was like, oh, I play Astroneer. And I was like, yeah, I got viewers from that. And
Yeah,
it's
I
small
mean, it's
games.
all about connecting with the community that you're like doing, right? So like another thing with smaller streamers that I don't like is like you just got affiliate, you're going for a partner push. What the fuck? You go for 3 average to 75 in a day? Please sign me up.
Right. Right.
So
Uh
just worry about your own content and worry like learn what about you entertains your audience and take advantage of that. It's the biggest thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, listen, where can people find you? What's your social media and Twitch so that people remind the people about that so they can find you?
Well, I'm your girl, Dolly Rocks Your Socks. I am Dolly Rocks Your Socks everywhere. Don't mistake me for Dalirocksursocks, which is an actual Twitch name.
Is it
So,
really?
yes, don't mistake me for that person. Okay, but Dalirocksursocks, like the thing on your feet.
Yeah. Right. Right.
My Discord is the Gaming Addicts. We absolutely love the community, the Gaming Addicts. We're all supporting each other, and we have community game nights. That's one thing. If you're all about your community, do movie game nights. Like, try to engage with your community as
Right.
much as possible. You want them to know who you are and continue to be interested in who you are. It's the best way to grow.
Absolutely. Words of wisdom. So you heard it here first. You know where to follow her, her Twitter, her Twitch. Check her out wherever she's available. And listen, keep watching. And I love to see your streams. So whenever you're on, I always try to catch them.
Yes.
And good luck on everything. Guys, Off the Wall has been brought to you by Tiebreaker GG, So Sick Clothing, Jerky GG, Rogue Energy, and of course, CGO Console Gaming League. That's right. So next week we'll have a few more guests. Check out twitter.com/dazzle167 to see all the upcoming guests for the show and for all the personal streams that I'll have. And until then, guys, I will see you later. We're going to have a raid on Mr. Scary Dragons because he's a friend of the show. He raided me I think yesterday, and that was very thoughtful of him. So I'm going to go ahead and raid him today as well.
I love Scary. He's amazing.
Scary's so funny. He's a great guy. Yeah, he's such a great guy, and he's another very big supporter of other streamers and stuff like that. So I like rating him, guys. Until then, I will see y'all later. Bye.
More coaching, come in the fucking channel.
There you go. You heard it from her.
Go into Chit Chat. I'll be there.
There you go. Look out for her Discord. Check her out. DM her. Do whatever you need if you need the coaching. Yes. All right, guys. Until next week, I'll see you guys. Peace.
Bye.
Alright, it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. F it up. Oh, I'm in the groove. Back in the mix. Check yourself. Oh, feel that healing beat. All right, heal up. Heal up. Heal up.